Welcome back to the channel. I'm really sorry it's been a while since my last video. Things have just got crazy busy before Christmas. Lots of stuff going on. I've had Christmas parties, stuff with school and the little ones. We've done choir night, we've done carols round the tree, a craft evening, lots and lots of stuff, and that has obviously had a knock-on effect to time off to go to that and made work really busy in the evenings and stuff. So I haven't even managed to get on the bike, let alone put a video together, which is starting to get to me a little bit because I can feel that the thought of getting on the bike and doing anything difficult at the moment is it's a bit of a, I'm dreading it a little bit, but I'll get there. I'll get back on it. I've got the week off before Christmas now, so hopefully I can chill out a bit, have a couple of rides as well, get myself back into it, and get going again. But that means we haven't caught up with race 6 of the World Tour yet, so let's do that. Unfortunately, I didn't make this race because I was off doing one of those things. We went up to London. My little one loves London. We took her up to see the Christmas lights, to the Shrek Adventure, and did the London Eye as well, which was an awesome day out. I got back 5 minutes after the race started on last Sunday. So, yeah, unfortunately I missed it, but I've got a couple of videos from the other guys, so let's have a catch up and see how that went. It's the first TT race, very short TT race of the series, so let's see how it went. Here we go then. 2 laps of Dutch Estate in Yorkshire. I can see a couple of non-TT bikes in there, but I reckon that's probably just a bit of a graphical error. We got some videos here from Christopher Waring, who is in the B category. In the A category, we've got John riding with Eric. We also have from the D Cat, Andy Evans, and then Pizizu in the C Cat. So we've got a video from each of the categories today. Pizizu using a Zwift or Source for Zwift on the screen there. This is going to be a really, really quick race as well, because it's just 2 very short laps. They've got 7.5 kilometers left to go. Not my favourite of maps, Yorkshire, because it's pretty hilly, and despite this course being, I guess, relatively flat, from memory, you're either going up or you're going down, as you are everywhere in Yorkshire, and that's where I really start to struggle. Watching the A-Cat here then, John and Eric just hitting the bottom of that climb. John putting out 11 watts per kilo there, trying to maybe make a gap over Eric. Some orange numbers here. The gap's up to 2 seconds. Eric looks a little bit more steady, staying around sort of the 5 to 6 watts per kilo mark. John still up around the 8 watts per kilo. Gap's up to 4 seconds here. Maybe trying to make a gap and give Eric something to chase down, whereas Eric's taking maybe a different approach. This is all guesswork. Maybe he's taking a different approach just to pace himself over the course of the whole race. There's 6.6 kilometers left to go. Let's have a look over in the B Cat. We've got Chris Waring out front at the moment with a 2-second lead over Noel. Ben's in there as well. Ben Bishop, C Swan, M Way, C White, C Jupp, D Stark, C Cole, A Kerr, P Zizu, P McMillan, all within a couple of seconds of each other. There's a 10-second difference between C Waring and P McMillan. You see that from the point of view of P Zizu here. This is that little group riding together with D Stark, A Kerr, C Cole, P McMillan just behind. And then let's have a look over at the D Cat. A Hugavine out the front, S Corbin, B Jenkinson, D C Marks. Barney's in there as well. Tim Glasby, Warrior, J Gilligan, Jay Mallet, Neil Brandon, and a couple of others too. And I think A Hugavine, there's a little group ahead. A Hugavine, S Corbin, Barney, DC Marks, B Jenkinson group out the front there, with this other group a little bit behind with just a few seconds between them. But it'll be interesting to see how these groups spread out. What's that gap at the moment out the front? John's opened that gap up. He's at the top now. He's opened that gap up to 15 seconds already. He's on the sort of little slow decline back down towards the bottom. Descent, that's the word I was looking for. Still only nearly 3 minutes in, with only 5.5 kilometers left to go. So this is going to be a quick one. We're not even 5 minutes in, and John is already, I think that's a 24-second lead he's got. The names have switched around on the leaderboard. He's on his way up the top of that hill, already. That little climb, about to turn right to finish the first lap. So that's a big lead he's got himself there. Let's have a look at Pavel. Pavel's with D Stark at the moment, with A Kerr just behind. Again, the gaps are relatively small and can probably be chased down throughout the course of this race. C Waring still in. It's all the timings are all off there, but in first place according to the bar at the top, with a 3-second lead over Ben at the moment. C Swan 17 seconds back. M Way very close. C Jup. There's another little group back there as well, and then back to Noel and a few other guys behind. And then have a look over at the DCAT. Can't quite see the front of the race here, but in and around Andy, we've got Tim Glasby 4 seconds ahead, Jay Gilligan just ahead of that, and Jay Mallet 12 seconds behind, with Neil Brandon 4 seconds behind that as well. Just where is this on the course? This is just turning around the little bit at the bottom before turning right to do the climb back up to the top again. 2 kilometres left to go for the ACAT. John's got a 30-second lead. He's just dropped off into the green zone for a little bit there. I wonder whether that's because maybe he's done enough to hold that position. With 1.8 kilometres left to go, we shall see. Over in the BCAT, we have C Waring, who is still out front. Ben Bishop just behind. This is going to be a close race. They're coming up to 2 kilometres left to go. C Jup 24 seconds behind. He's got a little bit of a lead out over M Way and that group that was behind a little while ago. Let's have a look at Pavel. Pavel still with D Stark, with P McMillan 6 seconds behind. They've got a 4-second gap to make up on A Kerr just in front. And in the DCAT, A Evans 4 seconds behind Tim Glasby. They're just making their way up. You can see a little train of yellow dots in the top right hand corner. They're just making their way up to the top of that climb before turning right and obviously starting the final lap. Let's see how far away the A's are into the final kilometres for the A's. Just that climb up, this little bit here to go, and then to the finish line. Back into the red numbers again, up to 7 watts per kilo for John. I think with the distance left to go, he's probably just about got this race in the bag. Into the final 250 metres with John then. Going to take the victory over Eric, which is not something that's very easy to do. Incredible racing. I don't know, maybe that was that huge burst that you put out at the front, but the gap seems to have just got bigger as the race went on. Over the line, winning the ACAT there. Awesome result. Let's have a look back at the Bs. C Waring still out front with B Bishop dropping slightly off the back now. C Jup 28 seconds behind. Noel and C Swan, A Kerr and C White all very close together. That'll be close racing to the end there. Pavel just on his way up this hill there, with still hanging on to the coattails of D Stark and the DCAT group on the way down the hill on the other side with 1.9 kilometres to go. Tim Glasby just in front. Little train of DCAT riders there. But let's watch Chris over the line. That gap's opened up to 7 seconds now. Putting out a bit of a blast, opening that gap up on the final climb. I call it a climb. It's not really a climb. To me, it's a climb. It's just a long, slow grind up a hill, which takes ages for me. Nothing compared to the ACAT, who just breeze up it. Awesome racing, Chris. Congratulations on the win. Let's see Pavel as well on his way up. He's got a 600 metres still to go. Final few hundred metres for these guys then. C Swan is probably going to get, 8th place, 4 seconds ahead. D Stark and Pavel going to be racing to the line here. Who's going to be the first one to go? Anyone got anything left? Going into the final few metres, I think it's going to probably stay as it is. You can see the pain on Pavel's face there. Awesome racing, guys. TTs are horrible. DCAT's on the hill for the final time as well. B Jenkinson putting out over 4 watts a kilo. Is this the point where he tries to attack maybe? A Evans also 4.4 watts per kilo for a second there. Trying to hang on to the back, as is Tim Glasby, who's 3.4 watts per kilo. I did see it over 4 for a second as well. That gap seems to be increasing though. B Jenkinson 3 seconds out the front now. Is there a chance he can catch Jay Gilligan in front 9 seconds ahead of Andy. Be interesting to see how close these guys are towards the end. Well, as this has levelled off, Andy Evans has caught up a little bit with B. Jenkinson here, closed that gap. Is he going to sail on through? Will B. Jenkinson up the power and try and hang on to the back? Tim Glasby fallen 2 seconds off the back now. Jay Gilligan will remain ahead of this group. He's into the final 250 metres, nice and level towards the end. We like that. A little slight downslope, -2%. Who is going to attack? Is anyone going to attack? Have they got the power left? These short races are really, really difficult, especially in a TT. That gap's up to 2 seconds now, but the numbers are going up. 5.7 into the orange for B. Jenkinson. Can he catch on the line? A. Evans responding. A. Evans is going to take it ahead of B. Jenkinson and then Tim Glasby. Great racing, everyone. Let's check the final results. Let's have a look at the results then. Let's take a look at the A-Cat first. Our usual John and Eric battling it out for the win here. You can see, actually, I don't know whether John planned to go out hard at the start and try and create that gap, but certainly kept that gap throughout. It seemed to increase gradually as the race went on, and the races, you can see in the overall standings, have gone backwards and forwards between John and Eric as the series has gone on. 6 races in so far, still lots to play for. I wonder how close that will stay as the other races play out. Into the B-Cat, we saw Christopher Waring winning that in 11 minutes and 8 seconds. Such a short race, this one. 11 minutes and 8 seconds. And actually, as a reminder, there are no flags for this one. The watts per kilo flag limits went out the window because it was such a short race. But Christopher winning it. Ben Bishop in second, who saw hanging on to Christopher a little while there. But that gap came sort of increased towards the end of the race. Chris Jupp in third, 11.43. It's quite a well spread out. There's Chris Swan and David Stark close together. Pavel not too far behind as we saw those guys riding together as the race went on. And in the overall standings at the moment, Noel sitting at the top with Paul McMillan in second. We also have Pavel. The 3 of those are the ever-presents in the races so far. Looking forward to seeing how this, I say it every time, I'm looking forward to seeing how this changes as we get to the best of 8 races. Let's have a look at the C-Cat. Neil Barber winning it, 12 minutes, 39 seconds ahead of Lindsay Connor. And we've got George Evans in third in 12.52. Not too far behind there, Graham Moore, 12.55. And then fairly, not large gaps, but bigger gaps between the races further down. Rob C stepping up to the C-Cat for the first time. Awesome job. Who have we got? We've got one ever-present, and that's George. George, top of the table, ever-present. Again, let's see how that moves as the series goes on and we hit the eight best races. Into the D-Cat, Scott Corbin winning it in 13.06, 3 seconds behind Barney, 13.09. Awesome racing, Barney. Nick Ruddleston in third, 13.21. Daniel Seamarks and Latix Warrior were close together a little further down. And then, so Andrew Evans and Ben Jenkinson fairly close as well. In the overall standings, we've got 3 ever-presents. Latix, Andrew Evans and Neil Brandon currently ever-present in the list. I think, how many have I done? Let's have a look. I've done 3 so far. If I can do the 4th one, race number 7, at least I've done half at the halfway point. The halfway point does come in the next race. 7 races in, 2 laps of Innsbruck Ring. We visit the fun, exciting leg snapper twice in the race. Looking forward to that one. That race is this Sunday at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock lunchtime this Saturday. Race number 7 of the World Tour, where we come halfway through. So if you haven't started yet, still time to start. It's best of 8 races. If you did all 8 races from here on out, you still get yourself in the final results. But as I keep saying it, and I know I keep saying it, but I'm interested to see how they move around when we start taking the best of 8 races in, because other riders will challenge those people at the top who have been ever present so far. So we'll see how that moves around. As I said at the start of the video, I need to get back into riding. Going to use next week to try and... I'm not going to set myself any targets or anything crazy yet. I think I'll use next week to have a think about what I want to try and achieve next year. I've had a bit of a half and half year this year. It started a bit rubbish. I got the dreaded flu thing. And then kind of from that point up till August, it went really, really well. Lots of training. I did the keto, lost weight. And I felt really, really strong. And then I just hit that mental roadblock when I came back from holiday. And I don't feel like I feel a lot better in myself, but I certainly haven't recovered in terms of cycling and getting myself on the bike and pushing myself in that way. And it's something I need to sort out again. I might revisit what my target was. I remember I did the video last year about what my targets were for this year. I'm going to go back and watch that and see where I am in relation to that. And if anybody else as well wants to let me know how they've got on, I did a video last year. I'll put the link up here or down below if you want to go to it, where a few of the T2.5 group set what they wanted to achieve in this year. Let me know how you get on or got on, and we'll sort of weigh the two up and see who's achieved what they wanted to this year. I don't know what I'm going to target myself at for next year. It's definitely something to think about, but yeah, I'm over that mental fog. I now need to just find the time to get on the bike. It's a rubbish excuse. I hate using time as an excuse for not getting things done. Sometimes I guess it's just putting priorities the other way, but sometimes when those priorities are family and work, unfortunately other things fall down the wayside. But yeah, next week, time for a bit of reflection, time for a little bit of thinking about next year and what we want to achieve on the bike. And I might put it together in a little video or something, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to stop waffling on now. Channel members going up the screen now. Thank you to you guys for continuing to support the channel. It really does mean a lot. If you want to join the T2.5 rides, all the information is in the description below. We do races. We do Tuesday night, we do a Trundle. Saturday, we also do a bandy group ride. So those are the two sort of more casual rides. Thursday night, we do races. And as I said, on the 18th, this Sunday, is race number 7 of the World Tour. But if you have enjoyed this video, do hit like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one.